Hey everybody, so this video today, I'm going to talk about breakups of all things, because I am not exactly sure, but if you think about this, if you think about it this way, there's always this one time of year where people always break up. I think there's actually a couple times of year where people always break up. People usually get together at kinda, I guess, the end of summer. Like when high school starts back and like your school starts back, that's usually when people they start to get stuck. That's when they start getting together. I guess I explained that well enough the first time, but so that's when people start getting together. And then there's like the traditional, like if you can make it past 1 to 3 months, there's usually there's like a thing that's like the mark that'll show you if you can get past 1 to 3 months that you're probably gonna go for what would be a pretty long relationship. It'll probably be a serious thing. It's not like, oh, this is sure. It's just one of those indicators. Like if you can last this long, there's a good chance that you're gonna last a longer amount of time, because at 1 to 3 months you've kind of done a lot of the major transitions, so to say. Like you started spending maybe just a couple days a week or something like that, like together, or a short amount of time, the short amount of time together, or like only going to social things together, and then you start hanging out more. And but by the time 1 month or 3 months have passed since your relationship with someone begins, it's about that time where you're with them as often as you can. You're doing everything you can with them, and it's just kind of a regular thing now. And then relationships start to break up. I mean, relationships start to end and start to break up about around the end of school, like around that time, and also around the halfway point of the school year. And right now we're getting into one of those. We're getting into that second breakup point, which is the end of the school year, and a lot of people go through breakups at this time of the season, the year. But at least that seems like it to me. Maybe I'm completely off, and you guys in the comment section can let me know how wrong I am and everything like that. And you can do things like that in the comment section when you notice how long relationships are, things like that. But those are just my indicators of relationships. But now we're in one of those seasons of breakups, and I think a lot of people could use some breakup advice. I am by no means a good person to break up with, because if I like you, I'm gonna try my very, very best to keep you in my life. So if you want to get away from me, you're gonna have it hard. I mean, I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but I mean, it's obvious that if someone doesn't want to be with you, I'm not gonna be like, no, we're staying together. But like if I think that there's a possibility that we're gonna work out, or you think that there is a possibility, something like that, I'm gonna work as hard as I can to do that. And so that's just the type of person I am. So the first thing about breakups that I usually notice, a lot of times this is different, but like a lot of times this isn't even going to be like a rule or an indicator. But what I notice is a lot of females actually do most of the breaking up, at least that I can tell. I know there's tons of guys that break up, and tons of girls. So I'm not saying girls generally break up. That's just what I've noticed. And the thing I've noticed is the girls, even before the relationship, like this is just like the kind of two groups of people you have. You have the girls, of course, in heterosexual relationships. The girls are always gonna want to be free, do whatever they do whatever is in the moment, do whatever they feel currently. And guys are more of I'm not thinking about just right now. I'm thinking about my like the future. I'm thinking about what I want right now, but I'm also considering the future and what that's going to be like. And that's how most of the guys make their decision. Most guys don't make the decision, what happens to me right now. They're thinking, what does this mean later? And what I find is most girls are thinking, what does this mean to me right now? And so there's a big problem for breakups and like how they go. But there are a lot of people that, when they break up, that's it. And so the first thing, say you're watching this video right now and you get dumped, because usually if you dump someone, you're usually not going to have trouble with the breakup. But if you get dumped, you're usually going to have trouble with a breakup. So I'm gonna do my very, very, very best to help that, because breakups do suck. I know they are terrible, and they there's I don't know what that's the only way to say it. They're just absolutely terrible. You don't feel anything for like a good amount. It only of course if it's a serious breakup. If it's like if you guys have been dating for less than like 3 months, you need to get over it. Just even at 4 months, it's kind of like you get to step in. But there's some relationships they're different than others. But so if you're in a serious relationship, you just don't feel much for the while. You just kind of are sad for a long time, and then you'll stop being sad, and then maybe you'll be mad, or then you'll just go back to feeling nothing, stuff like that, and that's really common. It's gonna suck for a while. If the last time you spoke to the person is when they broke up with you and you haven't spoke to them since, if you haven't spoke to the person that you're no longer dating with inside of a week, with inside of 1 week, there's I'm gonna say a 0% chance that you're gonna end up working this back out. So I think at the weak point, if there's been no communication, there's 100% chance that you're not going to get back together. So it's time for you to start taking all those personal effects that you have that reminds you of them, that makes it hard for you to get over everything and get past everything. You need to take them, you need to put them in a box, and you need to put the box at the back of your closet or under your bed or somewhere. Don't throw them out. That's something, especially if you're a younger person. I don't know about older people, like older relationships, but I'm assuming I don't know what you do with those, but if you're a young person, don't throw them out. This will be something enjoyable you can look back on. I know right now it seems like you don't want to see them go away, or B, you just want to get rid of them. But don't burn them, don't do anything like that. Just put them in a box. Worst case scenario, you still have them and you still don't like them, but if you get rid of them, you can't get them back. So you need to put them in a box and you need to hide them. You need to hide them from yourself, and you need to put it in a place where you don't go all that often, because you're trying to forget everything. The number one thing you can do is keep yourself distracted. Video games, most people think, are a good distraction, but video games are not a good distraction at all. They're actually a terrible distraction for breakups, because especially games like Call of Duty, you don't think about anything. You're just playing your game and you're on autopilot mode. And so video games are not good for distracting yourself in a breakup. Writing. If you have thoughts, write them down. I really recommend writing them down, because you're able to not only think of what you have in your head, but you put it on paper. And so that's something that I find really effective. And also, if you don't want to communicate with someone, maybe you're trying to get away from them and you're like, I need to do this, write it down. That way, once you write it down, you have it, if that makes sense. It's just, trust me, they'll come in handy. Write it down. So after that, you need to, if you haven't done this already, if they're saved like in a special contact in your phone, you need to change that right away. The next step you need to do is, generally you should do this right after the breakup, though, is you need to take all of your social networking things. I'm not saying you need to unfollow them, but if you get notifications to your phone, like on Twitter, undo those notifications. That's gonna help you a lot. If you following them on Instagram, Vine, and Twitter, I'm not gonna say unfollow them or anything like that, but maybe don't go on your Twitter or your Instagram or anything like that for a while, because they're gonna tweet and you're gonna not have fun, and they're gonna post Instagram pictures and you're gonna not have fun when that happens. So the best thing you can do is not let that happen. So don't put them in, if you have an iPhone, group them into one group and then put them at the very last slide. You will need them, but you don't want to go to them, because once you do that, you'll end up going on it and you'll just, I'll just check my Twitter feed. But what ends up happening is you go snooping around just to find their tweets, just to see what they're doing, and that is not a good idea. That's just going to end up causing you harm. Snooping is bad. Don't snoop. Snooping will only get you hurt. So once you've been able to get at this point, a lot of people early on suggest, you need a rebound, you need to get over this, and that is a valid method and it works. But if you're not ready for it, it's not good for you. So you need to make sure that you're able to have a rebound with someone. Because the worst thing you can do is, fuck another girl while you're still, heavily, attached or in love to another girl. So you don't need to do that, because then you got just a bad balance of things going on. But that's my advice on breakups. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. And subscribe and like the video. And please like the video if this helped, because the likes, especially for me, go a very long way. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.